Okay, what's up, people? There we go. What's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is well this Wednesday morning. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you check out Elevate Trade's Discord channel, guys. Completely free to join. I have linked that at the top of the chat so you can't miss it. Discount opportunities there for elevating traders are available, so make sure you check it out so you don't miss out. And of course, make sure you join if you are interested in sharing trading opportunities, chat with other traders, including myself there as well. So if you are interested, make sure you head over and check it out. But guys, welcome back to my stream, FX Wolf. Hope you are well. Yes, the yen pairs are looking very, very bullish. I think that is the main topic today. The yen pairs breaking out, looking across the board. We're seeing some really strong candles this morning. A lot of momentum from the previous night. So with this momentum, it does look like things are definitely turning around. Swiss yen is ready on a crazy run here. Swiss we already kind of mentioned yesterday. It was sort of breaking out, but now with this momentum, has really put the cherry on the cake. But of course, we'll see how the daily candle closes. But if I'm looking at Swiss yen from an intraday point of view, I'm looking at pullbacks and long opportunities. Retest the highs here, pullbacks around 174. Because at this point, if we maintain that momentum, there's a good chance we could be working our way back to the high close to 180. And we're kind of seeing this across the board with the yen pair. So we'll go through a bunch of them. You're looking for buys on GJ and Euro Yen. Okay, we'll go through with those as well. What's up, Elder? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So yeah, with Swiss Yen, to me, I would be looking at pullbacks and buying opportunities, and 174 looks the most clear-cut area for me, especially with the momentum we're seeing at the moment. Really, really heavy candlesticks down 4 hour. Some pullbacks would be looking very, very nice. In terms of dollar yen is looking really bullish as well. Now with dollar yen, I'll be a little bit sketchy with this one in terms of buying because number one, we've already had a really big move to the upside. Number two, we're still coming into some big levels of resistance. It looks like we are just about cracking through 152, but this is kind of seller's territory for me for dollar yen. We'll take a look at the other yen pairs when we get to them, but dollar yen, I'm not. Dollar yen could still be looking to have a really big move to the upside, possibly back to the high, just like Swiss yen. But dollar yen is still trading at that area where sellers will be looking to step in the market. Definitely buyers who are long down here could be looking to exit some of their positions. So this is not really buyers territory, at least for a swing trade anyway. If you're intraday, you can probably find some nice intraday pullbacks and ride it for the day because there is that momentum present. But you can see last time we were here, big turning point in the market as well there as well, big turning point in the market for a big buy. So it looks like we're breaking through slightly, but I need a little bit more than that before I was to find the buy opportunity off the back of that. So yeah, I'm not quite sold yet in dollar yen. Definitely is looking bullish 100%, but still trading in a really big area where is not the best place for a buyer if you're looking to swing. Intraday you can get away, but swing, that's not the best place. You want price to pull back at least to give you better prices. But yeah, dollar yen definitely looking bullish, but still trading at really strong resistance. So it'll be interesting to see how the daily candle closes. Aussie yen starting to break the high as well. This one looks nice, but I need a little bit more momentum. I was discussing some of these areas as where we could be seeing Aussie yen head to next. So if we drop to the 4 hour, you can see the market's been pretty consistent with the higher lows. Something like this intraday could look good. Maybe a pullback onto 100.5, something like that, and that could catch the next wave because we have been very consistent with these higher lows here. So just expecting that to persist really until we hit some big levels. But what I will say is though that we are still pretty corrective. So with Aussie yen, even though yes we are looking pretty bullish, the market is still kind of moving in a very corrective manner. So I would be careful of that. I would still expect to see a pretty meaningful bearish move with Aussie yen at some point. It may want to attack some levels first before we do see that push down. But in the meantime, yeah, buys is probably your best bet intraday until we see some signs that the sellers are stepping back into the market. We might see that happen around 102.8, 104.7. But yeah, intraday upside does still look pretty likely. New Zealand yen as well. This one I wouldn't really be sold yet on the buys because we're just still trading in that range. So I wouldn't be looking to do anything there yet. What's up, Holy One? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, I want to take profit on New Zealand CHF sell. Okay, we'll take a look at some of the CHF pairs as well. Let me just go through the yen pairs. So with New Zealand yen, this one as well, approaching the high of that resistance. So we could either, of course, break out or respect it and turn around. But either which way, we are seeing some momentum and we're still trading at some really big prices here on the daily chart. If I just map out that high there on the left, this is where we did turn around pretty aggressively not long ago. So there could be some nice buys brewing up for New Zealand yen, but I do want to see us get that breakout like that, something which we're seeing with Swiss yen really, really well. If we can get that, then yeah, certainly some pullbacks, retests will look good, and looking to ride that up some more. Maybe we're coming back to some of these levels on the left. 93.3, 94. Those could be some areas we could think about, some targets. I wouldn't really speak about the height just yet because that is a long, long way away. But moves back to some of those areas make a lot of sense to me. So yeah, buys look good with the yen pairs, some better than others. New Zealand yen not quite there yet. We could still turn around at that high, but if we were to get the breakout, then yeah, some pullbacks afterwards, some retests look good, and could find some entries that way. In terms of Euro Yen, FX Wolf, you're looking for buys for this one. Yeah, Euro Yen does look like we're breaking to the upside. Looks like we're breaking through that high there as well. I'll probably still wait for that daily candle closure just to confirm that momentum. But yeah, we are looking pretty bullish. I'm not confirming that breakout. Yeah, on the 4 hour, yes, but on the daily, no. I need to wait for the daily candle to close. But if we are going to persist like that, then of course we've just left behind a really nice range down the 4 hour, which of course will now be turned into support should we come back and revisit for a retest. So something like this. I guess that's probably something similar to what you're looking at, FX Wolf. And then probably some more upside beyond that. I would watch out for this kind of area there. Brief pause in the market before we had a big sell-off. So yeah, Euro Yen does look good for some buys. Nice momentum, but we're still trading at some pivotal prices here on the left. So that's why I'd be a bit careful. But I know you're a bit more. I know you can do swing as well, but I know you'll probably be looking for a bit more of an intraday opportunity, which looks good. But just as we approach some of these areas, I'd watch out because we could still probably see a bit of a dip for Euro Yen as we look to retrace some of this momentum. But really healthy breakout. I'd wait for that daily candle to close, and we probably will get that closure anyway. But yeah, some pullbacks. We've left behind a really nice level here on the 4 hour, which could be retested, and that looks like a nice place for a buy around 163.5. I would imagine GJ is looking similar. Yeah, really big break to the upside as well. So GJ is looking very, very bullish too. Again, with GJ, we're approaching some areas where I do expect to see the market have a bit of a breather at some point. But if you're looking to ride that momentum on the lower time frames, then again, we've left behind some nice levels here. Could pull back into catch some nice buys intraday, and that could be a nice trade within itself as well. So as a swing trader, if I'm looking to buy pound yen or euro yen, I need some big pullbacks. I need price to pull back away from the levels of resistance or go and break through them and then retest them. For pound yen, for example, I can't be looking to buy at these prices because it already had such a big move. Of course, if you're on the hourly and below and you're taking trades in those time frames, then something like this could look good. Come back and retest that high there, find some entries on the hourly, maybe even lower, and you can look to ride that momentum intraday. So there's some nice bullish setups there on the yen pairs, I have to admit. Some more than others, though. Pound yen looks good. I think Swiss yen looks really good as well. Euro yen, not quite sold on yet. New Zealand yen still needs the breakout. Aussie yen looks okay. Dollar yen still trading at major resistance. but Swiss yen's really committed to the upsides. Swiss yen's really, really breaking through. So pullbacks on Swiss yen, pullbacks on pound yen look good. CAD yen looks like it's committing as well. I like what I'm seeing with CAD yen, to be honest. Maybe a nice daily candle closure wouldn't hurt as well, but pullbacks to that area look pretty good. But yeah, all in all, a lot of momentum to the upside for the yen pairs. So very impressive stuff. Okay, so Hoodie One, you said, okay, taking two trades out of one. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're finding some nice success with the 50 strategy that you're using, why stray away? If it's not broken, don't fix it, sort of thing. What's up, uh, Catello? Probably saying the name incorrectly, but I hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. Twinsy, caught Euro JPY tonight. Okay, nice. You're probably in a different time zone. I mean, okay, you mean last night? Because I'm gonna say tonight. Yeah, it's just good morning. But if you talk about last night, then I understand. But yeah, Euro JPY has been really bullish. The yen pairs have been very, very bullish, and at the moment, we're not really seeing signs of them slowing down. To be honest, new 4-hour candles just open up, and they're all kind of still pushing up pretty hard as well. So yeah, momentum is definitely there. I think in terms of my favorite, I think Swiss yen probably is the favorite for me. Pullbacks in that one look pretty good. Retested that high and then continuations back to 179, sorry. But it does look like the other yen pairs are just slowly following behind as well. But yeah, definitely very, very bullish. What's up, Will? Good morning. Patience is over. Yeah, I saw that oil opportunity that you mentioned in the chat. Looks like price has finally come back to test 72. Already looking a little bit bearish this morning as well. So looking good there. We discussed oil a lot yesterday. I still like this big weekly level below us, which is trading at this area here, 66. And I'm liking the possibility of another rollover back into that same area. If I was to highlight that level, I do think that's probably where price coming back to retest. We talked about these lower highs on the weekly chart. Market's been very consistent with them, so naturally expecting another push back down. Dropping to the daily chart as well, you can see a lovely piece of structure here was support, resistance, briefly support again, and now resistance too. It's almost like a bit of a head and shoulder pattern. Maybe if it's a bit of a reach, but you got your left there, you got your head there, and a bit of a weird right shoulder, but we're holding on to that same resistance. So yeah, I think it looks good. We're seeing some nice momentum here on the 4-hour. That 4-hour candle is about to close in the next 40 minutes as well. So to me, it's looking pretty good. Stops above the high. And yeah, I mean, in terms of a move back down here, it looks pretty good. Whether we get it all the way back to that area, I expect it to happen, but we might mess around. It might consolidate as well. So I'll take that into consideration. But I'll swing back to where we came from, back into 68.5. That's good. Where's your targets for that trade, Will? How far are you looking to take the trade? I think if you're targeting here, it looks good. If you're targeting there, it looks good as well. It's just that I would have some type of management plan in place as well, just in case we were to come back into the low, find support, and potentially price reverses against us. That wouldn't be ideal. So if you can lock in some gains there, trade a stop, whatever you have planned. But in terms of the direction and the move we're looking for, or I'm looking for at least, and will, is definitely some more downside there. So I like it. If we were to break back above 72, I'll leave that alone, because at that point we get very choppy and the market's probably going to turn into like a very weird consolidation. So if we were to break back above 72, I'll probably just stay away and just focus on the major swing points. But if you can hold it, looks like a nice place for price to sell off. So yeah, I like it a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with experimentation, trying something out, trying something different as well, because it could work out very very well. Maybe you need to find a tweak here or there, and maybe it's a very good approach. But if you have something that's already working well, you want to keep attacking that, keep using that as much, well, not as much as possible, within reason, of course. But you want to take those setups time and time again, and you can work on something outside of that swing approach you were talking about. But yeah, if you find something working well, it's very easy to stray away because you feel like it's working well, but you need to do something more. But the funny thing is, you don't. You just have to keep taking those trades, really. Um, but yeah, you can work on strategies outside of that. But if you got something that works well, yeah, keep at it. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for oil. We'll go through some USD pairs because they're looking very, very interesting as well. Okay, entry 71.9, 73, take profit 67.22. Whereabouts is that? 67.22. Okay, so that's more or less lining up with this low here. So yeah, I like it. I like it. I'll watch out for that low there at 68.5. But regardless of that, I like it. This is a very strong level of support. The market flew to the upside from that. So looking to target that area outright looks good to me. And yeah, price is looking pretty bearish as well from there. So I like it. Just need to see if the market can get that momentum going. But in terms of the entry, I like it. In terms of the stop loss, 73.14, giving yourself a lot of room to work with there as well. So it's looking pretty good in my book. You just need to wait and see, let the market do the heavy lifting now. Okay, so I'll go through some USD pairs and I'll add in USD against the Singapore dollar there as well. It's been a while since I've had a look at USD SGD. Yeah, I've definitely looked at it before, but I can't remember the last time I had a look at that. Had a look at that market. What's up, CS Integrated? Welcome to the stream. It's going well. Hope you're well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, Antonio? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Hope everyone's doing good this Wednesday morning or afternoon for some of you, or night maybe. But yeah, with the USD pair, so I'll start with DXY. So dollar has kept that strength up since the beginning of the week. We've still been pushing hard. I'm still looking for a bit of a dip in the dollar, but I'm not prepared to jump into a moving train here. So I need to wait for signs that the market is about to reverse, which we are getting. But at the same time, with this price action since the new day, the market's been very, very bullish. We've been sluggish. We've been slowing down. So I've been anticipating the market to topple over, but we're still just pushing hard really this morning. So maybe things might change around. Let me have a look at the news this afternoon, if there's any dollar news. Because at the moment, dollar's just flying because I'm looking for longs on euro. But that's just looking very bearish at the moment, not giving me any confirmation whatsoever. So if that's the case, I'll have to stay on the sidelines. But things could turn around this afternoon. Let me just have a quick look at the calendar. So we've got Bank of Canada this afternoon, 2:45. So rates expected to drop there for CAD. So probably going to see a weak CAD this afternoon. Anyone fixated on CAD, trading CAD, watch out for that news there at 2:45 UK time. In terms of USD, what existing? There we go. Couldn't say the word. We've got existing home sales at 3 o'clock. Not the biggest news in the world, but might cause a bit of movement in terms of, yeah, that's pretty much it for USD. Then we've got Aussie PMI late at night. So yeah, not much. A bit of news tomorrow though. But yeah, we'll see what happens regarding dollar. At the moment, looking very, very bullish. Not really showing much signs of slowing down. If you look at euro, we're doing the exact opposite, looking very, very bearish and not really giving me signs of turning around. But we're still trading at major support, so I'm still looking for the longs. But if we go and crack through this, that's a very big break to me, because at that point we're breaking structure. And yes, I still do expect the market to have a bit of a breather and see some upside, but at that point there's a very high chance we're probably going to see more downside, and prices wouldn't come trading at these lows here as well. So yeah, euro's looking really bearish, dollar's looking very strong. We're at major support right now, which I like for some buys, but I need to see some evidence that price is about to turn around. Not quite seeing that yet, so I'll have to keep a close eye. But looking at the other USD pairs, as the USD slowly falling to the downside, pound USD is correctively falling, but the key thing is we're breaking through support here, so it's difficult for me to get into buys now with this support breaking. USD CADs, I like the upside for USD CAD, but I need some retracement for this one, preferably back down to the high over here, but it's a bit of a it's a bit far away, so I'm not too sure we'll see the move, but that is what I'm looking for. Dollar CHF, I like the shorts for this one as we approach the high on the left, but still a little bit of a way to go. Aussie dollar, again, I like the upside from this area. And I like our corrected prices as well, because we're just slowly moving to the downside, which tells me that price, again, likely to see a push up at some point. I think when dollar snaps, we'll see Aussie snap too, but maybe we have a deeper test first and then we see some upside. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for Aussie dollar as well. And then silver and gold are just doing silver and gold things. Gold's just absolutely flying. Silver doing the exact same thing as well. But in terms of the opportunities, pretty much straightforward for both of them. Looking for the pullbacks, looking for the retest, and then just looking to take it to the upside. Gold's at all-time highs, so yeah, in terms of targets, let's say if we pull back from here and we see some downside, that just becomes a pretty simple target to look at. With me, I'll just be trading stops just to see how far we can take it, because gold's just been so bullish, so I don't really see a point in having to take profits. And same with silver as well. But yeah, the key thing is, will we get the pullbacks? That's up to the market. But yeah, I'm really liking the price action. Just need to stay patient and hope for some pullbacks. But yeah, I really like gold and silver. It's just, will I get the opportunity to trade them? But yeah, USD looking really, really strong right now. Really, really strong. It's just, I do expect some retracement at some point here. But until I see evidence that we're turning around, same with euro as well, evidence that we're turning around, I need to stay patient. Otherwise, we can just keep falling. I don't want to get in the way of a moving train right now. We'll take a look at USD SGD as well, and then Aussie dollar as well. So USD against the Singaporean dollar. Let's see what's cooking. So, okay, so that's the last time I had a look at it, somewhere around there. But yeah, with this one, okay, so we had a really big move down. Okay, so we've been slowly falling. So the market's probably going to eventually have a move back down to the low there. I know that this is the monthly chart, but I like having a gauge of what the market is doing before I drop to the lower time frame. So the market is just very, very bearish and slowly moving down. We do have this very prolonged consolidation phase, which looked like the market was breaking through, but maybe not just quite yet. Looks like it's having a quick recovery. But the lower highs over here are quite pivotal. So the highs here on the left is what I would expect the market to hold before it continues down. So yeah, with the USD SGD, I would be looking at some of these areas for some turning points in the daily chart. That low there looks like a nice place for the market to come into, struggle, and maybe turn around. If you're looking at intraday opportunities, there's of course a lot of bullish momentum right now, so you're probably looking just to ride that on some pullbacks and take that to the upside. What position do you have? I'm looking. Okay, so are you buying or selling? Wait, I can work it out. If your entry is 1.30 and your target is 1.35, that means you're buying. So you're looking for a push to, okay, looking for a really big move. 1.35, 359. Okay. So you're looking for a push around somewhere around there. Let me delete that so I'm not confuse the two. And then your entry is 1.307. 307, which is around there. So you're looking for a really big buy here. That's no small trade. That's no small trade at all. I mean, it's a nice place because, of course, you're essentially looking to catch the bounce off that low. You know, if this is just a big fake out, then the market is essentially respecting the low of the range. So in terms of the entry, I think it's in a really, really great place. I'm not sure what your stop loss is, but in terms of the entry, I think it's in a really solid place because as we just looked at, we've got a massive range here in the market and you've entered right at the low after a fake out as well. So there's probably going to be a lot of momentum to the upside. I would watch out as we come back to some of these areas here because your target is all the way up there. So there are some areas where your price could reverse against you, but I'm sure you probably have some type of management plan in place for that. I think the targets are pretty realistic as well. You're not asking for too much. You're not shooting all the way up there as well. So if the market is just giving us a big fake out, you could probably see a push back to 1.359. So I think the targets are realistic as well. But yeah, I would, have some partial management system in place just to take off some profits along the way because there are a few places where price might struggle and turn against you. So I would watch out for that. But yeah, I really like the price action here for USD SGD, especially in the higher time frames. But yeah, I have to say I'm a big fan of the entry. We have to watch out for swap on that because I'm pretty sure you'd be paying swap. Actually, no, you wouldn't be. No, you wouldn't be paying swap. You have positive swap there. So yeah, looking for a long term trade like that isn't the worst idea because you'll get positive swap. Okay, we'll take a look at Aussie dollar as well. Holy one, do you not trade exotics? No, I do not trade exotics. Yeah, it's very difficult in terms of the swap. And if I was going to trade exotics, I would just focus on the direction of positive swap because the negative swap is really really high. Um, yeah, the negative swap is really high in some of the exotic currencies where, and especially with some exotics where they are consolidate quite a lot. I mean, looking at the price action of this one, it's actually pretty smooth. I know it's got a big consolidation there, but generally speaking, we've had some really nice trends there. So USD SGD actually looks pretty good, but looking at some others like USD ZAR, which is a bit more choppy, or USD Peso as well, which is very, very choppy. It has its moments, but it does consolidate quite a lot. So if you're caught in the wrong trade, you can be paying some really, really hefty swap costs if you go in the opposite direction. So if I had to trade exotics, I'll just trade in the direction of positive swap and just look for opportunities only in that direction, really. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, at the moment, I don't look at exotic currency pairs, just majors and minors. Do you trade exotics, Holy One? Thoughts on oil? Okay, we'll take a look at oil as well. We'll go for Aussie dollar two. We'll go through some CHF pairs, Harry, because I was meant to look at a CHF pair as well. So we'll go through a bunch of them. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be like that with a lot of brokers. With exotics. Exotics aren't really the best markets to trade at all. Spreads not great, swaps a lot. Sometimes they're a bit slower as well. So generally speaking, I mean, you can trade some exotics like the USD SGD actually looks pretty good in terms of the price action. It looked almost like a normal FX pair, really. But some exotics are decent, but you have to be aware of the swap if you're swing trading them. And of course, if you're day trading, it might not be the best either because the spread's going to be pretty wide. So that could definitely affect your entries and your targets as well. So it's probably best to swing trade them really, but then you want to swing trade in the direction of positive swap as well. So yeah, that's the only kind of real conundrum with them. But yeah, in terms of Aussie dollar, as I mentioned, I think some longs look really, really good. We are coming back into some nice levels of support on the daily time frame. I do think this is a nice place for a buy. You can see the last time we were here, really nice reaction to the upside. Now the market's coming back down there again. Had some nice bullish structure from this area. That was our prior higher low, which gave us that higher high. Now the market's coming back to retest that same area there as well. So you can see how we're moving in this descending format. Normally, when price is descending like this, it's getting ready to break in the opposite direction. So that's a nice sign that we could be looking to turn around. The key thing is I want to see some strong rejection. Price is looking pretty bearish at the moment in time. So we're probably going to get another test of the level, much deeper test of that level. Then if you see some signs of reversal, some big rejections, wicks, we can discuss some buys and probably a nice push to the upside. In terms of targets as well, could be looking at some buys back into this area, some buys back into this area here as well. But of course, I'll definitely watch out around 0.68 as we could very easily sell off from there as well. But I like the upside potential here for Aussie dollar, certainly from that level. If it breaks, then I'll kind of back away from the buys until we get back down to some of these prices. Because if you zoom out, Aussie dollar is really in a big range, to be honest. So if the market is not going to hold this level, then this is the next best place for a buy, really, in my eyes anyway. I know it's a long, long way away, but anywhere else, I would just expect the market to probably have a slight pullback and just continue lower anyway. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Aussie dollar. Probably some nice buys coming up soon, but definitely going to keep an eye on USD. Okay, so we'll go through oil and then I'll go through some CHF pairs. So as I mentioned with oil, shorts do look good with this one. 72 area where price is rejecting. That 4-hour candle is about to close. So if you're looking to take entries on the 4-hour, this candle here looks good for an entry and a stop loss above as we reject that same level. But the key thing I'm looking for oil is basically this kind of sluggish trend on the daily chart to continue back into the low again, because this is really, really key support for us. I'm looking just for price to come back and retest it again, since we had a really big push, but all it amounted to was just another lower high. So naturally expecting us to test the low again. And if you drop to the 4-hour, you can see you've had some nice bearish structure there on the 4-hour as well. So looking at this as a pullback of that move, looking for a lower high and now push back down. This low here looks like a good target to me. You got the low here as well. We got the weekly low there as well. So depending how far you want to take the trade, there's options. But yeah, in terms of the direction, yeah, definitely bearish for now with oil. But I would say I do want price to remain below 72. If you start breaking through and retesting it, it definitely becomes a bit awkward and not really so interested about trading at that point. But for now, solid rejection. So anticipating some downside in the next few hours. So I'm going to go through some CHF pairs. Yeah, I haven't gone through CAD CHF yet, Harry. I'm about to go through some CHF pairs now. So yeah, with the CHF pairs, it's been interesting, but overall, haven't really seen much, to be honest. With the CHF pairs across the board, I think these guys are still consolidating, waiting for a catalyst to get them moving, to be honest. With Euro CHF, I mean, in general, I'm still pretty bearish with the CHF currencies. Of course, not CHF, JPY, but Euro CHF, CAD CHF, Pound CHF, Dollar CHF to an extent as well. I'm still pretty bearish with them, so I'm looking for more downside on the higher time frames. This is Euro CHF on the daily chart, still giving us those consecutive lower highs. Got a nice retest of this area not long ago. And then, yeah, I'm looking for price to come back into the low there at 0.92717. In terms of taking trades here, that's just really the conundrum here. It's difficult to find good entries because look at how choppy price is. If we were to push slightly higher up. Maybe you can find something like this as we come back into that area, put another lower high and then a short. So you might find a nice entry like that, but because of how choppy it is, personally, I would stay away. Not a big fan of how price is moving. But if you're eager for a trade and then you're looking to follow these lower highs, and something like that would make sense. Of course, you got to watch out for the support level here because effectively price is just consolidating in here. It might break up, it might break down, so you have to watch out for that. That could be your first take profit area. But really, that's where I do see the market pushing into 0.928, which is back at that support level there. So looks like price is slowly just rolling over, and it might see a nice breakout soon. But yeah, pretty bearish on Euro CHF. In terms of CAD CHF, the price action here is very, very, very awkward. So I would literally just stay away completely, not to do anything in that area, especially in the middle of all of it, because this is the consolidation we've got, and trying to find a trade in the middle of it is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Really, I would not want to be trading inside of here at all. If I'm going to trade it, then it will be at the highs or the lows, and trying to take some sells there or buys there. If I wanted to trade it, but really the conditions are really, really poor. So what I'm looking for CAD CHF is a push back to this area up here and some sells up there. That way I can get a nice stop loss above the area. Of course, I'll see how price reacts, but at that point, it's kind of a way of the noise. The price is kind of taking out some of these highs, which would have stop losses above them. So now we're coming back into fresh territory again. So you can at least get a nice reaction from that area, most likely. May not continue all the way down, but it will hopefully give us a reaction where we can trail stops and bank some profit. So yeah, CAD CHF, I like the area 0.636. I know we're nowhere near there right now, but as I said, I would highly recommend not trading inside that range, because most likely you're going to get wicked out by a random candle, and it's not going to be much fun. So I'll stay away from that. Pound CHF, not any better really at all, to be honest. I don't like the price action with pound CHF either. This one's been ranging on a bigger scale for a longer period of time as well. So it's not really my favorite CHF pair at the moment. Although we had a really nice drop in July, and I'm kind of looking for the continuation of that. But if I'm looking to take any entries, it would be because price pushed back to the high, look for some entries up there, and then take a trade. Not wanting to get involved in any of this madness there as well. Very, very choppy price action, and just not interested. So with pound CHF, if we can push back to 1.136, that looks good to me. Nice place for a trade, and then maybe you can catch a reaction back to some of these areas, book some profits, and leave some positions to run, see how far we can take it. But predominantly, pound CHF is another very messy currency. And the reason why I am bearish on the CHF pairs in general is because of the high time frames. We do have that bearish structure. So as a swing trader, predominantly I'm looking for sells. But yeah, pound CHF not great. Aussie CHF, this is the one I was shorting last week. It's still consolidating, believe it or not. So even if I was still in the position, the market would still be moving sideways on me. But yeah, that's a realistic expectation with the CHF markets. They do have their moments where they do see some nice momentum, but they also have their moments when they're just absolutely sideways. I'm still looking for a break lower for the same reasons as I've spoken before. Had a nice retest of that low, and again, simply looking for the continuation of the momentum in July. Really big drop there. Looking at this as a big pullback on the daily chart, find some resistance and possibly form the next lower high for a move back into support again. So that's really the move I've been looking for on Aussie CHF. It's taken its sweet time. I'm still looking for that move. If you were to break to the upside back into that level, I'll look for some more re-entries to get back into the trade. But I'm not looking for any entries where price is right now, because it's just way too choppy. I can't get a clean entry, can't get a clean stop loss. If price is back here, I can do that. So I will be interested. But in terms of the direction, I'm looking for us to break to the downside. What could be interesting maybe is if we do break lower and possibly get a retest of that area. That might set up a nice trade, but this would be my number one preferred option. So that's really what I'm waiting for. But we'll see how everything develops. But generally speaking, looking at more downside. And then last but not least, you got New Zealand CHF, which is coming into some major support, which could be looking at a big reversal pretty soon. Because when we did break through this, it was because we had that kind of mini flash crash, if you will, big push down, price recovered that very quickly. But this has proven to be very steady support. And I believe we're trading at all-time lows when we made this move. Yeah, so these are some really low prices for New Zealand CHF. So a pullback at some point is probably likely. But we might see another drop first to actually test that level. And yeah, that's consolidating as well. So yeah, all in all, very choppy price action across the board. Yeah, I'm pretty bearish on the CHF pairs, but I can't find clean price action or opportunities to take a trade. So that's why I'm not really actively looking at them. But because I use the higher time frames to develop a bias, I'm bearish, but I just can't find opportunities to get back into them. Yes, I will take a look at New Zealand yen for you quickly. Onto the sell pound yen 190.362. Okay, too scared to sell it. Well, you might be right to be too scared to sell it because maybe the market is just flying to the upside. Because I'm looking to buy the dollar. I mean, not buy the dollar, to sell the dollar, but buy Euro USD. But because the market is just falling so heavily and we're not really putting our brakes on, it could be easily be a case where Euro USD just breaks through to the downside and we see some hefty momentum. If that's the case, of course, I don't want to be looking to buy. I want to kind of stay away and let the market do its thing. But with Euro USD and with the dollar, things can change quickly. Same with pound yen as well. Things can change quickly. We come into the New York session, things are looking a little bit bearish. We're starting to form some wicks, and then we see some downside for the rest of the day. So what I would say is if you do have a plan, stick to that plan and take the trades you're meant to take. But wait for your confirmations, wait for the signs to be there. If you're not getting any signs in the market, it's just steaming to the upside, then of course there's no point selling it because we're likely just going to keep pushing higher. So be sensible about it. This market is very bullish right now. We're seeing a lot of momentum. If we're not seeing any evidence that the market is slowing down or forming some rejections, then don't just jump into that because the market's going to keep pushing against you. But if you start to see some evidence of price slowing down and it fits your confirmations and fits what you're looking for, then you've got to trade. Typically in FX, we're never bullish or bearish for too long. So if you are seeing a lot of momentum, don't be necessarily too scared of it because it does typically reverse at some point. But of course, you need to wait for that evidence to come in first before you do take your shorts. So you look out for that. It could happen this afternoon, but of course, if things just continue, then yeah, step out the way and let price do its thing. So yeah, watch out for that. But I'll go through New Zealand yen. What's up, Tony Gold? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Lockdown, what is up? Good morning. Good morning. Okay, looking for a long and pound USD. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for a similar move as well for a lot of the USD pairs because, as I spoke about with the dollar's been very bullish, but I do expect us to see some downside. But we're just too bullish at the moment. We're not really seeing much evidence that the dollar's about to turn over. I know we are quite corrective here. We've been moving in this kind of ascending format for a while, and typically, these ascending structures do eventually break, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes momentum just kicks in and we fly. And that could be what dollar is looking to do. The key thing I'm looking for is evidence. I need to see wicks. I need to see rejection, bearish engulfer candles, bearish momentum coming back into the market. And then, of course, I'll see that happen on euro, I'll see that happen on pound, and then we can take some nice buys and take those to the upside, because we don't necessarily have to have such a big move to the downside. You can just look for that retracement, and then maybe price puts a higher low in somewhere and continue. So we don't necessarily have to be looking at such a big move, but we do need to see that initial sign that dollar is putting a top in and it's about to reverse. So I agree with you. I think pound is likely to push up as well, because we're still very corrective in the structure. So that tells me there is a possibility for push up. And we're kind of seeing that with a few USD pairs. Aussie dollar is very corrective too. So at some point, I do expect it to break higher. Euro USD was corrective. I mean, it still is corrective, but it's just a very steep angle there. But Euro USD is another one which I do expect to break higher. And then the USD has been pretty corrective too. So these pairs are, they've had some big falls. They're a little bit stretched. So I do think price is going to have, find support at some point and see some upside. But yeah, I want to wait for some signs on the dollar first before I do jump in. Otherwise, who knows? We could see price just continue for the rest of the day and keep pushing. And that could just be an unnecessary loss to take if the market just keeps flying. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. We do have some USD news in the afternoon. I don't expect much from it, but I don't know, maybe price does react and we start to stall a little bit and we get some signs that the market's about to turn around in the afternoon when the New York session opens. You can see how dollar's just having a lot of fun with it right now, which is looking really, really bullish. So yeah, I'm not going to jump in front of that just yet, but I'm looking for a similar move to you as well. Yeah, exactly. It's to do with the interest rate differential. But with the exotics, though, it's pretty self-explanatory with the direction of the market, because if you look at USD-ZAR, for example, with exotic currencies, because the market has longer term, been trending to the upside, then you know that USD, if you're buying USD-ZAR, you will have negative swaps, and if you're selling USD-ZAR, you have positive swaps. So that is the direction of the differential. So if you're long on that, you're paying swaps. If you're short, you're getting paid swaps. And if you look at USD peso, same thing as well. In general, well, this is not the best one. Can I click on a different one? Yeah, there we go. So in general, if you're long on USD peso, again, you're paying swaps. If you're short, you're gaining swaps as well. So you can look at the correlation of the market as well. Now I'll give you an idea, but yeah, you can look at the interest rates too. But yeah, as I mentioned with New Zealand yen for the Pello, as I mentioned with New Zealand yen, I think buys are starting to look good, but New Zealand yen is kind of the only yen pair that hasn't really got going yet. I mean, we are seeing a lot of momentum, so it has got going in that regard, but it hasn't broken out this level of resistance yet. It's still struggling to break through the range high. So I think there could be some nice opportunities on a break and retest at some point, but we need to get that retest going. We need to see price come back, retest the high, and then find some opportunities there. CAD yen's kind of already made that move. Euro yen's kind of already made that move as well. So these look a little bit more attractive for the long, but New Zealand yen will have its time in the light, in the shine. Never, just forget the past 10 seconds there. New Zealand yen will have its limelight. There we go. When it does break out. So you want to look for that retest. And then I've marked out some areas where we could look to take profit, 93.33, 94.1 over there as well. Looks good. I'm not quite sold that price is just going to push all the way back to the high there. It could very well do so. That's a long, long way away. So I'm just going to kind of take it step by step and look at some of these major swing points and use those as targets where we can take some profit. But yeah, New Zealand yen buys are getting there. I'll just wait for 92 to break and then talk about some retests for some longs. But some other yen pairs have already kind of made that move. So at the moment, If you're looking to buy, they would be a bit more attractive. Swiss yen, really nice move to the upside, looking very, very bullish. This one is not too far from the high there. I wouldn't be too surprised if we were to make that happen. So yeah, something like this looks pretty interesting to me. Be nice if you can find some entries on the 4-hour or the hourly chart or something like that. But yeah, the main takeaway for me, yen is very, very weak. USD is strong, and it's ironic because normally USD and yen are quite correlated. But USD and yen are in the opposite sides of things. USD is really, really strong, and yen is very, very weak. And CHF is kind of just neutral. Maybe it's a little bit strong, but it's mixed from CHF. So they're kind of out of sync. Normally CHF, USD, and yen normally do the same thing. So yeah, that correlation is kind of out the bag right now. But that's the thing with correlation. As I keep saying, it comes and goes. Sometimes the correlation works very, very well. Sometimes it's out of sync, and it could be due to a number of reasons, fundamentals, who's buying what currency and whatnot. So it could be a lot of reasons why currency correlation comes and goes. But typically, CHF and USD are positively correlated. At the moment, they're completely the opposite side of the spectrum right now. But they'll eventually correct themselves. But the thing is, which one is going to be the corrector? Is yen going to lose its strength, lose its weakness, or is it USD going to lose its strength? I think at the moment USD looks the more favorable as we do approach some of these areas at the top of the range. I do think we can probably see some downside, but yeah, at the moment, just really, really bullish. I said yesterday I was looking for some long term, but I need price to hold on to this level if I'm going to get a buy. If not, then I'm going to have to step aside because we could very much break through this and cause a lot of damage here. At that point, we could be coming back to some of these prices. I'm looking at some of the weekly candles here on the USD pairs. Didn't really give us too information last week, to be honest. But what I can say is that momentum from last week is definitely sustained. But in the long run, I do think we'll come back down pretty hard at some point because if you look at the price action for the past year, all dollars doing is ranging. We've had a really big rejection at the low. Price is now pushing nearer to the high. What's up, Tom? Hope you're doing good. Very, very true. Dollar's king, yen to hell. 100%. Yeah, you were buying dollar yen, weren't you? It's one of those things. If you had onto that trade, it would be a monster trade. But that's hindsight trading. We don't want to entertain that too much because we don't trade in hindsight. But it was a very, very nice trade. But yeah, dollar is looking absolutely monstrous right now. Very, very strong. Looking not like it's slowing down, but yeah, as we start to approach some of these prices here, I do think we'll probably see a bit of a dip. Just have to be patient. What's up, Brian? Welcome to the stream. I hope you're well. I think tomorrow is going to be interesting because we've got so much PMI news. We've got Aussie, we've got Euro, we've got Germany, we've got Pound, UK, we've got dollar, all on the same day. So tomorrow's going to be very, very interesting to see how that materializes in the market. But again, PMI is not the biggest event in the world, but it can move the market a bit, especially when we got so much. And Friday we've got a bit of news, but not much. Exactly. It would be a 1 to 8, a 1 to 8 R, but the hindsight is 2020. Yeah, I mean that's the real killer in trading, the hindsight, because you look back at some of your trades, you're like, "Oh, that would have been a great trade," or that I'm happy I exited that trade early. But you have to look back at the actions you did take and look back and see if they were aligned to your plan. And if they were, then you did well. I mean, of course, you can look back at your trades and make tweaks, but you don't want to do that off a singular trade because not every trade is going to run to a 1 to 8. So you just letting a trade run on average, is not going to result in a lot of 1 to 8s, would it? So you can't look at what happened with one trade and then suddenly change something going forward. Of course, if you look back at your past 50, past 100 trades, and you're like, okay, I'm limiting my profits, then you can make a change, a tweak. That would make sense because you've actually got some sample size, you've got some data to back that off. But one trade, anything can happen with one trade. It could be a 1 to 25. Of course, it would be nice to bank that though. It would be nice. Yes, it was Brian. Yes, it was. Elevating Traders is now live. You can head over to our website, check out our challenges. Of course, elevatingtraders.com, as you can see on the wall there. And you can use code ET50, which is in the Discord as well, for 50% off as well. Okay, looking at Aussie. We'll go through some of the crosses. I haven't actually looked at the cross pairs yet, mainly because I'm not a big fan of them at the moment, but we'll have a look and see why I'm not a big fan of them. Morning, Ben. Hope you are doing good. Yes, yen pairs are running off, mate. Yen pairs are running off. Captain Jack sailed without us. Don't worry, guys. They will have some pullbacks, some breaks. They never go in one direction for too long. But yeah, you're definitely right. They're looking really, really bullish right now. Some more than others. Swiss yen is looking outstanding. Huge candle today. I mean, I know we still got 10 hours and 55 minutes left of the candle, but if you can close similar to how we're looking right now, that's a really nice candle, really big statement candle. Completely broken structure here as well. So if we were to come back, I'm looking just for more upside and maybe a push back to the high. So yeah, next pullbacks could look good. Need to stay on the ball for that though. We do have Bank of Canada interest rate decision at 2:45 UK time. So I would keep an eye on that because, of course, the rates for CAD are expected to fall, which normally means a bearish CAD. So if you are selling Aussie CAD, you might want to watch out for that. But again, if you're a technical trader, you're not so concerned about that. Of course, in face value, it doesn't seem good. If the rates do fall, then you do get a bearish CAD, but it might only last like an hour and it might not have such a big impact, and then price could turn around and CAD could be strong again. So maybe in terms of risk management, maybe take that into precaution. But in terms of the trade, if you have your technicals lined up and you analyze the market and you come up with a trade, see that trade through, because sometimes CAD could CAD could become weak just for a little bit, and then it gains its strength back as well. So that could be something to look at. But I was supposed to look at pound CAD. We'll go through a bunch of CAD pairs. I was supposed to look at pound CAD before as well. Haven't taken a trade for 23 days. Is that what you're saying? Waiting for a good trade in EU. Well, that's a lot of patience there. I have to tip my hat to you. But yeah, I mean, it's hopefully that's patience in the right direction, because if you're looking for a particular setup and it just hasn't happened yet, that's good patience, because you identified the pattern, identified a trade, and it just hasn't come up yet. So you're waiting for that trade to arise. So that's good patience. If you're just kind of waiting for the sake of waiting because someone online told you to be patient, um, then you're kind of hesitating to take trades and you're not too sure. That's kind of the bad patient, because then you could actually miss a good trade and you just be too hesitant to take it. But if you've got a pattern and an idea or a plan behind what you're looking at, and it just hasn't lined up yet, and you're just waiting on the sidelines, then kudos to you. Wait for that trade to form, and when it does, make sure you're there to take it. But in terms of Aussie CAD, I'll go for pound CAD as well. And if I've missed out a pair someone's mentioned, just drop it down in the chat and we'll have a look at it. But in terms of Aussie CAD, it looks like price is struggling at this high here. It looks like price could be looking to topple out, put a high in, and maybe reverse back down. Because I'm looking at price here, are we putting in another major lower high? Maybe. I mean, I said I don't like the pairs because the price action has been so choppy. But it looks to me that price is struggling here and could be forming another lower high. What I would like, though, is price to break that to the downside, and then I could maybe discuss some of the pullbacks like so. That would be a nice little swing trade for me, which of course is a bit of a way away from forming, but I like that idea. So yeah, Aussie CAD, I would like to see price break the downside, and then I will look for the pullbacks of that. Of course, if you're currently short on Aussie CAD, you do have some support down here to contend with around 0.9650. That could be an interesting area where price could come back, find support, and potentially reverse against you. So I'd watch out for that. But we are looking pretty bearish at the moment. Really nice 4-hour candle closure there as well. I like the wicks to the upside. Momentum's looking really good on the hourly 4 hour. So yeah, it does look good. Maybe a bit of support here to contend with as well. And that could be a little bit dodgy with the news coming out later today. You might react to that and push back up again. So I would watch out for that. I'm not sure where your entry or your stop loss is or your targets, but I think if you're looking for a move back down here, you look pretty good. I mean, I would be looking at something like this for the trade, but that could be something we discuss maybe next week or the week after. But yeah, in terms of Aussie CAD, pretty consistent with the lower highs here. Momentum's in your favor. Price is holding onto that high there pretty well. So it does look like to me we've got some room to the downside to run into, but we'll see what CAD does, because if CAD's weak, that might push us up, maybe back into that high there. But yeah, don't mind that price action. I think if the CAD, because if the CAD news, because rates could still drop, but they could be a little bit higher than what the consensus is. So that might give us a mixed CAD, because if they drop, but the rates are expected to drop lower than what they are expected, that's when you see a really weak CAD. But if rates drop, but just not as much as the consensus, then yeah, you might see a weak CAD for a little bit, but then it might gain some strength, because overall it's a little bit better than what people are expecting as well. So definitely there's that part to play too. But I'll go through some other CAD pairs as well. Take a look at pound CAD, euro CAD. New Zealand CAD, which is pretty correlated with Aussie CAD as well. Um, no, I don't look at that Hurdy one. I do not trade looking at. Do you use that? I don't use that at all. Next stop 0.915. Okay, that level there. Okay, so you're looking for a push into that. Yeah, so that makes sense to me. I'm liking it. Momentum's in your favor as well. So hopefully that can continue. But in terms of some other CAD pairs, I mean, they're all kind of doing the same thing, really, which is kind of slowly round off because they've all seen big moves to the upside, and now they're kind of just consolidating a little bit. So you got Aussie CAD doing that. You've got New Zealand CAD doing it over there. You got Pound CAD doing it over here a little bit, and then Euro CAD a little bit over there too. So they're all kind of consolidating, but looking bearish at the same time. EuroCAD's got a pretty big level of support there to break. Aussie CAD likewise. New Zealand CAD's got a nice support there to break too. A couple areas there to look at for Pound CAD. But yeah, what's your plan on Pound CAD, Ben? What are you looking to do with this one? I mean, Pound CAD for me is still generally pretty bullish because we are still keeping up with those higher highs and higher lows. I know we're hitting some big levels on the daily, weekly, monthly charts, which is why I'm not really looking to take any long-term buys on it. But what I can say is that the trend is still very much up, and we haven't really seen any structural changes like break of structures or big double tops to say that okay, the market is about to reverse. And not recently, we had recently we had a retest of this level there, and it was a really nice reaction. Price seen some upside. I mean, we haven't made a new high, so that's maybe a bit of a sign that we're starting to sell off a little bit. But I wouldn't be looking to sell it just yet. I need a little bit more from that from Pound CAD. Price can start breaking through. That'll be interesting. That could turn up into a nice little trade. I know that'll take a while to form, but that's kind of really the structure I'm looking for before I start selling, because this right now is still a very bullish market for me. And looking to sell that is always going to be very, very difficult in these conditions. If you can start breaking through, that would be nice. And that could open up some nice shorts at a much later date. But yeah, Pound CAD to me is still in a bullish market, so I'm going to be looking at shorting just yet. Indices look a little heavy, especially S&P. Maybe it's time for some retracement. I was actually looking at Bitcoin just before I got into the stream this morning, and that was looking pretty bearish to me, which is interesting. I think yeah, Ethereum is looking pretty bearish too. Yeah, the indices have had a bit of a move up. I think retracement is just a normal part of what you expect the market to go through next. I think the big question is just how far will we retrace before continuing higher. But I would agree they are struggling a little bit at these heights, so maybe a retracement is on the cards. I think especially for S&P, there's some areas we could be looking at for some retracements too. You could look at the high here. You could look at the high over there. You can even look at the low here, which I marked up yesterday. So, these are three individual areas where price could retrace to and see some really lovely continuations. But it's up to S&P how much of a breather, how much of a rest does it want to have? Does it want to have a really big pullback and form one of these, big pullbacks we've seen in recent weeks, something like that, another big push, and then we get the continuation? Or is it just a slight move down for price to find its feet and continue? That'll be up to S&P. I'll judge how price looks at these levels, and then you can base some trades off that. But at the moment, I would be looking for a little bit more downside anyway with S&P, at least back into that first level at 58.07. See how price looks how price looks there. Maybe there's some nice entries, maybe not. Maybe you just break straight through. And I'll look at the second area at 57.60. Again, see how price reacts, possibly a buy. And finally, we've got a lovely big level here on the daily chart. If that second level doesn't hold, then we've always got this third area lurking down here for possibly a big buy. So I think with the indices, there's a lot of room for us to run into still, even though our all-time highs, just because the market conditions are still so bullish. But yeah, you're right. It does look like price is probably going to retrace. Same situation with US 30. You've got some major highs back here, which you could come back and retest. Are we going to see another big swing for the shorts? Possibly. That could be what we'll be looking for, around 41,390, 41,400, we'll call it. But there are some lower levels we can consult with, such as the retest the high there, see a retest, and then off we go. So either which way, if we do see some downside for the indices, my expectation is just a pullback for a lot more upside. That's my expectation until proven otherwise, until I've seen some signs that that is not the case. And same thing for US 100 as well. Still very bullish on this one, looking for pullbacks and a push back into that high. And yeah, some new highs at that point as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm with the indices. But Bitcoin though, Bitcoin, that's not looking too good. That's not looking too good either. I've talked about the breakout we've had on this channel, and it looks like price is slowly creeping back in the range, which is not what you want to see if price is actually having a breakout. Looks like we've come back into the high there. The market's held on to that, and now looks like we're breaking back inside that range. So if this is just a big fake out, trapping some traders on the wrong side of the market, this could really open up the door to some massive sells all the way back into 50K. All the way back into 50K. So I mean, as I said originally, there's a big move to be had for Bitcoin. Whether we're going to have a big sell-off after fake out, or the market's going to give us a breakout, and then we can discuss the retest and the buy. So yeah, there's room to the upside, 80, 90, 100K. There's room to the downside, back to 50K. So either way, there's a big move to be had. But at the moment, it does look like we've just had a big fake out, and momentum is slowly picking up with the bearish side of things. So in my book, unless we break through 69, 70K, I'm expecting a big drop for Bitcoin. I'm expecting a big drop. It's not looking too good for Bitcoin at the moment. But yeah, things can change quickly as well. If we do see a big push above the high, which is 69K, then of course I'll rethink things and then look for retest. But at the moment, no breakouts or no confident breakouts to report on just yet. Okay, you tried it in the past, but don't really understand it. Yeah, same, to be honest. Haven't used it enough to really incorporate my trading, or say that it's not really helpful to me. And that's the same with a lot of different indicators and different types of trading, like the like Bollinger Bands, and there's so many different indicators out there which I've looked at in the past, like a long time ago, but I just haven't really investigated in a lot of detail, which is why I don't trade with them. So yeah, that's another one which I just haven't really looked that much into. Lose 1.82 on pound CAD. I'm looking to short, targeting the low at 1.741. Okay. Targeting the low at 1.741. So you're looking to target 1.741, 1.741. Oh wow, looking for a really big move. So that's back at that low there. So you're looking for 1.82. I'm confused. If we lose 1.82 on pound CAD, I'm looking to short targeting 1.741. So looking for us to push up to 1.82 first, and then you're looking to short to 1.741. Is that the plan, Ben? That's a really big move there. What's up, Senzo? Hope you're doing good. Okay, we'll take a look at pound yen for you. Okay, 1.78. I was gonna say, 'cause that's a bit of out of character of you, Ben. It is way out of character. 1.78. Okay, so if you lose this level here, you're looking at a push there. Okay, but yeah, basically what I was mentioning earlier. If you can break past this area, that's kind of where we've got the trend line there as well. It's kind of keeping us bullish. So yeah, I can get on board with that. If you do break through that, then probably see something like that back to the low, which is not far off a big level there as well. But yeah, I need a little bit more downside for pound CAD before I start looking to sell. Do you journal trades? Yes, I do. I'm one of those people that swear by it, to be honest. I think journaling is very, very important because when I look back at my trades, that's kind of where I need to look back and improve or see what I'm doing well and what I'm not doing too well. So I'm a big fan of journaling. Otherwise, I'll forget what trades I was taking, 6 months ago. Of course, you will have your trade history on your MT4, whatever platform you're looking at. But in terms of the analysis behind it, why you took it, and the screenshots, I think that's quite important visually to see what you did. And yeah, you can look back and learn from your shortcomings. Yeah, I fully agree, Will. I fully agree. Because especially if you're not seeing the results you want to see, journaling is a must, I would say, because you need to look back at your trades and see what you're doing wrong. If you can't look back at your trades, then how are you going to improve? Okay, yeah, we'll take a look at pound yen for you. Okay, so you've gone pound NZD, pound Aussie, euro NZD buy, NZD cat. I mean, pound NZD, euro, pound NZD, pound Aussie, and euro NZD are very, very similar pairs. So, buying them basically means that you're expect them all to play out or all to fail, really, because they probably will move similar fashion. Of course, maybe different speeds a little bit, but they're going to move in the same direction, really. But we'll take a look at them. And then the CAD and Euro pound as well. So effectively, you're buying Euro pound if you're selling pound euro. Yeah, Morgan is on fire. Been holding all last week. Oh, so you entered from last week. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of pound NZD, pound Aussie, Euro NZD on the higher time frames. The price action has been very, very choppy. So personally, for me, I'm staying away because we're kind of just seeing ranging markets here on the higher time frames, and the higher time frames is kind of what I use for my directional buy. So if these guys are ranging, then it just makes my job a little bit harder. I mean, pound NZD is not that bad. Pound NZD's actually got a nice little trend to it. So if I had to pick one, it would definitely be pound NZD because there's a nice little trend there. But Euro NZD as well. This one's kind of just horrendous there. Pound Aussie, slight trend, but still very, very flat as well. I think pound NZD is definitely the winner there. So yeah, in terms of the buys there, as I mentioned yesterday, there is a trend to it. So if the market is going to break through this high here, there's a good chance we're going to push back to that high there. If the trend's just going to naturally going to continue. So I like the buys, but I would have to watch out for this level here because that's really the obstacle in our way. I'm not sure where your entry is or what your targets are, but if I'm looking to get involved with pound NZD, I'd have to wait for price either to pull back away from there or for price to break through and find some entries on the top of that level. Because there is definitely upside room. There's definitely upside room for pound NZD back to 2.8, 2.189. But this level's got to go. This level's got to go for me to take those buys. And if it does, then there's a whole lot of movement for us to push into the high again. Euro entity, this one's just really messy, so I'm not a big fan of it. Yes, we might be seeing some upside, but I just don't want to be looking for entries in this area. If we're entering down low near support or major resistance, I can make a bit more sense of that. But in the middle, everything is just a bit more 50-50 here. So it looks to me that we've had a big impulse and price kind of correcting that for a push up higher. So I can sort of read that from UNSD, but I wouldn't look to trade it myself because there's a very there's a higher chance that in these conditions I do get stopped out early just to see price move my direction. So it's always just very difficult to trade in these conditions. So I stay away from them. But Euro NZD, if we are going to see those pairs push up, there's a reason for us to expect more upside. And if this is just a correction of that impulse move that we had not long ago, then we could see that continuation happen. But yeah, I just don't like the price action really, and the fact that we're in a big range. Pound NZD looks a lot cleaner. And pound Aussie looks okay as well, but again, I like the buys of pound NZD a lot more. This one again, still kind of trading to resistance. Not the biggest fan of pound Aussie right now. Might struggle at some of these prices, so I would watch out for that. If you can break through, then yeah, it might open up some nice buys later on. But right now, we've got a big kind of area to contend with. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm not a big fan of the price action on those markets right now. Very choppy. What's up, Lord? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, oil's moving down. That's good to see. That's good to see. We'll take a look at oil. Let me go through NZD CAD and Euro Pound first. So with NZD CAD, as I mentioned with the CAD pairs, with NZD CAD, we might be seeing a big move down, similar to Aussie CAD as well, because they're both kind of form that same support level. Let me just clean the chart a little bit. Aussie CAD would create some support here. If that was to break, looking for something like that. And NZD CAD, similar situation as well. If that was to break, looking at something like this for more downside. It's kind of a bit of a head and shoulder pattern. Like so. And that, of course, being the neckline. And so if that was to break, then I do anticipate a lot more downside for NZD CAD, and we can probably start to look for some areas like so in terms of targets. So yeah, in my book, NZD CAD looking pretty bearish. If you can get a strong break of that low, I like the short. So I wouldn't sell NZD CAD right now because it's coming into major support, even though we could probably expect it to break. I don't want to be finding that out with a trade because I'll look a little bit silly if it doesn't break and price was to bounce and push back up again. So I would wait for it to break first and then look for opportunities for a retest and a short. But yeah, we do have some CAD news this afternoon, so I'll watch out for that as well, especially trading into support. But in terms of the technicals, it does look like we've struggled to put another higher low in, and does look like the market is putting another lower high, as I mentioned, with the highs there, and giving us that head and shoulder pattern. So if you can break the low here at 0.32, I think that's going to open up the door to some really nice sells, push back into the low, and maybe further as well. But that's what I'll be waiting for, because I know you said you're selling NZD CAD. But yeah, for me, I would have to wait for it to break the floor first before I do take any shorts, because yeah, we've got major support just below. And then Euro Pound buy, I assume it's a Euro Pound buy you're discussing. Euro pound buy, I do like. We've come back to some really big levels. So I do think there's a lot of room to the upside for euro pound. If I map out the level there, huge level of support. As we can see, if I take this across, this is the monthly chart I'm on. I'm pretty sure. No, it's the weekly chart. I can switch to the monthly though. You can see this is a huge level of support in the higher time frame. So if you're looking to buy, now's the time for euro pound. But I would wait for some development though, because the thing is, if you're going to look to buy now, we could have a really deep test of this level before price does push up, kind of like we did over there. So it's a bit difficult in terms of stop loss placement unless you're going to give yourself a lot of room, have your stop loss underneath here, which is going to be pretty big in terms of the amount of pips on euro pound, because this is the monthly chart. Let's not forget. So if you're looking for a refined entry, you kind of want to wait for price to start giving some double bottoms, some break of structure, some higher lows, and then we can base some trades off that. Maybe something like that in the future could look good. But we're definitely at a turning point in euro pound, and definitely at a place where we can definitely see a lot of upside, as we see from prior rejections on the monthly chart. But yeah, I just would be a little bit aggressive to jump straight in. So that's kind of why I would hold back a little bit. But yeah, there is room to the upside for euro pound. So I do like the buys in general. This community feels fresh like coffee. I don't even like coffee, to be honest, but I do like the smell of coffee, so I agree. Fresh coffee is nice. Only 9 pips to go for New Zealand's ETF. I don't think you even discussed that one, did I? Then I'll look £4 ETF sell. Okay. Yeah, not a big fan of the CHF pairs. I'm bearish, but they're just quite choppy. Okay, you're looking for a scalp. Okay. I was looking at the monthly chart and then you're looking for a scalp. How many pips are you looking to scalp lock down on euro pound? What's up, Kwame? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Any markets you're looking at, let us know. But yeah, with the CHF pairs, we have seen some nice downside here and there, but it's been a little bit difficult. You've got 9 pips left to go. So if I measure 9 pips on current price, you're looking at around. Okay, so you're basically looking at the low here. Could have guessed that. So yeah, not too far off the low, and it does look like we are pretty bearish on NZE right now. It looks to be that NZE is pretty weak and looked across the board, and looks like a lot of pairs are bullish against NZE at the moment. So if that can remain for the rest of the day, you're probably looking at a nice take profit pretty soon. So I'm liking that for New Zealand CHF, and I mean, as I said earlier, I do think this is probably where price is coming to retest again, because it's a really big level on the daily chart. So it looks like price is slowly rolling over to get there. And yeah, generally speaking, it looks like the CHF pairs have got some room. Do you have a level where you're looking to sell pound CHF from, or an area where you're looking to sell pound CHF from, Holy One? Or is it not quite there yet and you have to wait for some things to line up? Or are you waiting for the 50 price to close below the 50 before you take the entry? But does it like CHF is seeing some downside in the past couple of hours? How's oil doing? Will said it's selling off. Oh yeah, oil is selling off. It's looking really nice. That was a nice candle closure there in the 4 hour, and then prices just dropped since then. Still got another 3 hours and 24 minutes before it does close, but it's already made a very strong move. So yeah, with oil, things are looking good. Really nice rejection on 72. Will's been waiting for this one for a while, so the patience looks like it's paying off. Hopefully, it keeps paying off. But yeah, I think a push to that low looks really likely. And of course, we got that low and that low there as well. But I do see price coming back into that area, and then we can see what price gives us next. But yeah, and that oil dropping should be even more weakness for CAD as well. Um, but it doesn't look like CAD is that weak at the moment, I don't think. But we'll see what happens this afternoon anyway. Okay, nothing major, looking at 6 pips. Okay. What was your stop loss size for that lockdown? How much pips are you risking for the 6 pips? Ben, yen, JP225 week at the same time. Interesting. Let's have a look, see at that. Um, yeah, yeah, that is interesting. And there you go. You got some more markets that are normally correlated but completely out of sync right now. Because I was saying earlier that USD and yen are normally correlated positively, but yen at the moment, at least the currency itself, is very, very weak, and dollar is very, very strong. But normally, yen and USD normally are positively correlated and normally strong and weak together. Of course, they have the times where they do kind of lose that correlation a little bit, but right now they're completely opposite sides of the spectrum. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, even with the index is moving down, which is supposed to be positively correlated with the yen pairs. If the index is moving up, then your yen pairs move up too, and if the index is moving down, then the yen pairs move down as well. So there is definitely um, a cog in the system there. What's going on? Is this a sign that the yen pairs are going to drop soon, or is it a sign that maybe the index is going to find support and push up soon? Because they're gonna line up at some point. They're going to correct themselves. Whether the yen pairs are going to turn around or the index is going to turn around, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's a good spot though. I haven't actually looked at the index since past couple of weeks. So yeah, that is what's the JPY basket? That would be showing yen weakness. Yeah, that would be showing yen weakness. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, that's a weird one. Always looking clean. Have to put it back in the watch list. What's up, Karish? Good morning. I don't know if I said hello to you. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Um, oh, 65.25. Yeah, I think Will's looking at a similar move to that. Anyone golding? I've stayed away from gold for a very long time. I'm looking to gold, Lauder. I'm looking to gold. I'm looking to silver as well. I just need some pullbacks on those guys, but they're just having a party right now and absolutely flying. So I'm hoping they can pull back and give me some retests. But I mean, I suppose people in an intraday time frame is looking for some intraday pullbacks, like some of these here. But I'm looking for a bit more of a meaty one. But I might have to be on the sidelines for a while before we get something that suits my fancy. But yeah, gold's just really bullish, and I'm expecting more of it really. Markets are broken. They actually low key are broken, to be honest. Dollar and gold ripping together, yen JPY index dumping together. Yeah, yeah, that is actually a weird kind of. But again, as I mentioned, correlations they're not 100%. They will be broken in some periods. And I guess we're just in that broken period right now. But yeah, the correlation has definitely gone out the window there a little bit. And I'm going to keep an eye on that because I want to see how it comes back into correlation, because it's not going to stay out of correlation forever. It's going to come back into correlation at some point. I want to see how that happens, whether the yen pairs lose that momentum and suddenly become very bearish, or does the basket find support somewhere? Does the index find support somewhere and push up? I think the latter is probably the more likely. Yeah, I think we're probably more likely to find support somewhere and push up, maybe back at this low. But we'll see. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Aussie yen looks really bullish. I'm looking for retracement, take advantage of the bullish trend before out. Yeah, Aussie yen. Did we have a breakout of this one? Yeah, it is about to. So, yeah, with Aussie yen, I do like the buys with this one, but I would still watch out for 102.8, 104. These areas are areas where we could find resistance, see some sellers step into the market. So I would be a bit careful up there. But yes, you're definitely right. The market is breaking to the upside. I've highlighted all of these consecutive high lows, high low, high low, high low, so on and so forth. So looking at another pullback or retest looks good. Anticipate the next high low, another push up looks pretty likely. But because we are still moving in this ascending channel, which is typically, corrective price action, this is normally a sign that the market's going to find a fall at some point. And maybe these areas is going to be the tipping point for the market. So there is room to the downside for us, but the trend is still slowly pushing up. Maybe not slowly, but it is still grinding higher. So pullbacks look the best bet, especially if you're intraday as well, and you're not looking for anything crazy. And that's really the move you're looking for. So yeah, Aussie yen looks good. Aussie yen looks good, but I'll keep an eye on 102.8, 103, because that might be a bit of resistance for the market. All right, Will, take care, my man. I'll catch you in tomorrow. Okay, update the position Discord. Nice. Yeah, guys, make sure you check out Discord as well. You can share trading opportunities, see what other people are looking at, including myself as well. So if you are interested, make sure you check that out. The link to the Discord is at the top of the chat. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, finding it useful, please be sure to drop a like on the stream. It does help out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and yeah, hit the bell too so you don't miss on any uploads in the future. But I really do appreciate everyone who has liked and subscribed. It does help out. Lockdown. Okay, 6.5 to 11. That's very specific. With a 5 to 4 bit risk. Okay, not bad. It's not doing anything now, so I might just cut it. Fairs. Yeah, Euro pound's not a bad pair to scalp because the spreads are not bad, and I mean it doesn't move a lot. To be honest, Euro pound is a bit more of a choppy pair because Euro and pound are very, very similar currencies, so they don't tend to be very different too often. But it's not a bad pair to sculpt really, because execution is not bad and the price action is not bad as well, especially if you're trading a London session. But not my favorite pair to swing, I have to say that though. Yeah, 100%, Ben. Very unusual to see gold and dollar bullish together. So, I mean, not too unusual, I have to say, gold, because if you look back at Russia Ukraine when that first hit the charts, should I say, and same with COVID as well, gold was really really bullish and dollar was very bullish. So in times of crisis, in times of fear, fundamentally and economically, then that correlation between gold bullish and dollar bullish is actually an actual thing, really. It just in general terms, gold is normally supposed to be up if dollar is weak. But in times of crisis, global crisis, then there's actually a positive correlation there. So gold and dollar being in the same direction doesn't surprise me too much, because I've seen it happen quite a few times, especially when there's crisis around the world. So I can definitely see that happening. But the yen one, though, I haven't really seen that happen too often or at all. I mean, I think I can remember one time it happened that I really took note. But as you mentioned, it's not like a slight bullish move. We're seeing the yen pairs really fly and the index really drop. So it's a really good point, to be honest. Okay, so we'll take a look at. Okay, Ethereum will go through. Yeah, potentially, and that's the thing we were discussing, Lord. You know, is the yen pairs going to keep going, or are they gonna potentially reverse and copy what the index is doing? It's going to be up to the market, but we'll see. But yeah, in terms of Ethereum, yeah, Ethereum's seen some downsides. It hasn't quite come back to the high. That's why I said shorts would look good if we come back to the high there, 2,800. But I mean, we actually did tap it, actually, and didn't see that. But yeah, I'm looking for another drop there for Ethereum because it's funny because Bitcoin looks like it might be breaking out and seeing a big move, but Ethereum is still pretty bearish to me. We had a really big drop there. The market just been moving sideways. I'm not sold on a big move yet with Ethereum. I'm still looking at another rollover for price. Maybe when we get back down there, we might see a big breakout, but at the moment, I still think Ethereum's got more room to the downside to fall into. Back to 2,200 looks pretty good, and I think Bitcoin will probably follow suit as well. So yeah, Ethereum, I'm pretty bearish. Of course, in terms of entries, it would be ideal to enter a little bit of a while ago. Now is a little bit late to the party, but in terms of direction, I do think Ethereum's still got a bit more room to fall into, back into 2,200 and possibly further as well. But I'm not really seeing much signs that price is about to reverse just yet. Okay, so yeah, GJ, yeah, we are seeing a lot of upside there, Lauder, for GJ, of course, with the other yen pairs as well. Big moves across the board, really big candle today. It's going to be interesting to see how the daily candle does close because we're already looking really bullish, but we still got the rest of the day to go. But yeah, really strong momentum. I think if you're looking at opportunities on the low time frames, I think the buys look good. And and buy lower, I'm talking like hourly and below. Because if you can get a nice pullback into this area, let's say, I think in terms of an intraday opportunity, something like this looks like a nice prospect. And let's say if we pull back from here, we top out here and we start to pull back, that to me looks like a nice place for a take profit and calling it a day. Because again, we've been very consistent with the higher lows. Momentum's picked up. We've really broken through that resistance there. Now, essentially, we're looking for the retest of that for more upside. So, pound yen to me looks like a nice buy from 196.5. And yeah, taking it back to the high. I wouldn't be so sold on a push all the way back to the high there yet. That could be the case, but I'm not quite sold on that. I would expect a deeper pullback before we were to do something like that first. So as a swing trade, that's kind of what I'll be looking at for a buy, a bigger pullback at least, back to some of these prices here before I consider buying. But in an intraday level, looking to ride that momentum looks like a nice proposition to me. I'd imagine you're looking at maybe something similar. Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was hinting at before. That Bitcoin looked like it might break out, but then Ethereum is showing real no signs of any strong trends about to occur, unless all of a sudden some big candle comes out of nowhere like this over here. Then yeah, maybe Ethereum is back in town. But in terms of the price action, we are really dead. And same with BTC as well. That one looked like we were seeing some life, but not looking too good anymore. But it was showing some nice signs. But yeah, if Bitcoin's going to break back inside that range, I do think there's a lot of downside for Bitcoin in the next few days. So I'll definitely watch out for that. Can we buy pound? If you want to. Again, I'm not gonna say if you should buy or sell something, because at the end of the day, it's going to be you that are risking your money. So if you're going to take a trade, you should always be comfortable taking that trade. If you're not comfortable, then don't take the trade, or you can take the trade on the demo account. That way, nothing's at risk. So yeah, I'll never say go buy this or go sell that. If I'm in a trade, I'll share the trade with you, but I wouldn't say to enter or sell. That's up to you to decide. But in terms of pounds, I think there is a move to the upside, but I need to be breaking above this channel here, because this is the support level I was looking for pound to bounce from and see some upside. But it does look like price is breaking through, and it might just kind of continue falling. So yes, there is room to the upside for pound, but at the moment we're not seeing that happen yet. I would wait for price to break outside that ascending channel, or descending channel, sorry, and then discuss some buys outside of that. That could be a nice buy for pound. But otherwise, if we don't do anything like that and we kind of stay in the sluggish, bearish trend, then we're probably going to get a big break to the downside. There's a lot of room for us to fall into. So I wouldn't buy pound now personally, if that's what you're asking. If you can break out the channel, possibly. If not, then no. Probably going to see more downside rather than a big push up. That's true. ETH down 40% off its yearly high, BTC only 10% off it. I mean, yeah. What was the all-time high for Bitcoin? Was it like 60? No. Was it 70? 73K, and current price is 66. So yeah, we are around 10% off the high. But if we do drop to 52, then you're going to be looking at like 30% drop there. Yeah, around a 30% decline, which to me looks like a reasonable move now. Unless Bitcoin out of nowhere has a big breakout and a retest, then yeah, we got a nice breakout on our hands. But otherwise, it looks like we're rejecting that level. So I'm actually going to be pretty bearish on Bitcoin for now, until proven otherwise. But it's not looking good, I have to mention. And dollar is just still flying. Dollar is just still flying. Looking really bullish right now. How's euro looking? Yeah, euro's looking still bearish so far. So as I said, I'm looking to buy off a retest of this level, but I need to see indication that the market's respecting it. I need to see some signs of wicks, some bullish engulfing, momentum shifting, if I am going to find an entry. But if the market just closes straight below, I mean, still got 2 hours left before that candle does close. So I'm not going to make any final decisions at the moment, because that candle could look very different by 2 hours time. It could be bullish. But if we do get closed below, then I need to see some strong momentum coming back up. If not, then I'm just going to assume that dollar's going to remain that strength, keep that strength going, and euro is going to break that low. And at that point, I'll back away, to be honest. But I am still interested, but I need to see some evidence that price is about to turn around. At the moment, I'm not seeing any of that happening. Bitcoin would. Yeah, I know. I mean, to be honest, if you're actually looking at Bitcoin, a pushback down to 50K is literally not the worst thing in the world. Even a push down back to 30K is not the worst thing in the world. To me, that's just a better price to buy it. If you're going to look to hold Bitcoin and just let it run, and you're not too concerned about entry or concerned about the day-to-day fluctuations, then if you can get Bitcoin down to 40 to 30K, you're looking really good. Because if Bitcoin can get to that price, that 40 to 30K range, and then let's say that it does have a big bullish run, it does push back to 100K, then you're looking at 2 times 5%, 2 times 2.5 times in your money. 2.5 or maybe closer to 3 if it's nearer to the 30 mark. So if you can get it back down to there, that's actually a really nice place to put some positions in and just hold. Um, because if the market is not going to have that breakout and is going to retrace a little bit deeper, then to me, that's just another opportunity to get some better entries in. But yeah, of course, the push down to those prices would be not be great for some people holding up some buys up here. But then again, if you're going to hold Bitcoin for the long run, I would not be watching the chart day to day, week to week. I would just check in once a month, really, and just kind of be very neutral about price, because my idea is that Bitcoin is going to gain price over the next 5 to 10 years. So what it does in, in a month or two is not going to change my verdict on Bitcoin. But yeah, I think in terms of the technicals, it doesn't look good on that breakout at all. So unless something changes drastically, I'm looking at a push to 50K. Forex Factory for Euro. I normally look at my FX book for my calendar, but in terms of Euro today, so yeah, Euro today we got we got a speech from the ECB president at 3 o'clock, and we've got consumer confidence at 3 o'clock as well. So a bit of news there for Euro, not the biggest events in the world. Consumer confidence, of course, I'm not sure what the speech is about, but consumer confidence, not the biggest announcement. It might move the market a little bit, but I'm not expecting fireworks there for Euro. And the rest of the day is not really much going on for Euro, really. So if you're concerned about the news for Euro, not expecting much, but if you want to stay aware, consumer confidence around 3 p.m. UK time is probably something to keep a bit of an eye on. If you can only hold BTC or gold go into the future, what would you pick? Oh, good question. Good question, Ben. I don't know. I think in terms of value, it would be Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has the potential to be trading at $1 million for one Bitcoin. So in terms of the risk reward, you're gonna 5 potentially 10x your money with Bitcoin in a much smaller space of time potentially. With gold, I just expect the price to be going up forever, to be honest. But at the rate it will go up, it will be a lot slower than Bitcoin. But then, of course, the risk with Bitcoin is that who knows, maybe Bitcoin does go to zero for some reason, and then you kind of lost all your money. But gold, I don't see gold ever going to zero for whatever reason, unless the whole kind of global. Actually, yeah, I don't see gold going to zero for whatever reason. So I think the safer option would be gold. But if you're looking to be a bit more risky, then it would be Bitcoin. $64, is that for Bitcoin order? 64,415 possibly buy. Yeah. Okay, 64 for a buy. I'm not the biggest fan, but of course I'm sure you got your reasons. I can see prices slowly forming these higher lows. So yeah, maybe there's a bit of a trend forming, but again, the key thing for me is price breaking out of this descending channel, get the clean break of the high, then look for the retest. Then yeah, I'll discuss the buys, but anything in the range here, I'm not really interested. Not really interested for me. Okay, so you guys are saying Bitcoin. You guys are the risk takers. But yeah, I mean, in terms of value for money there, you got a high chance of doubling, tripling, 10 times in your money with Bitcoin than gold, even though gold is pretty much guaranteed to keep going up. But yeah, Bitcoin, you probably get more for your money. So I would agree from that standpoint. I mean, take a little bit of risk, live a little. All right, see you tomorrow, everyone. Take care, my man. But yeah, guys, we're coming to the end of the stream. I'll keep an eye on Euro because there could be some nice buys there. But as I said, things look really, really bearish. So I'm not going to try and force anything because we very much could still be pushing a lot lower. Dollar's looking really bullish. That could still be pushing a lot higher. So unless I see a big sign of things turning around, I'm not going to try and force anything. And of course, gold and silver are still my favorite kind of setups right now, but they're just really, really bullish. Hopefully we do see some downside. We're looking a little bit bearish down on gold, looking a little bit bearish down silver. So who knows, maybe the setups are slowly coming into reality there. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that. But otherwise, not really much to report on. Maybe some nice moves on the yen pairs, but we'll see how that goes for the rest of the day. And guys, keep an eye on Bank of Canada, which does come out at 2:45. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the stream. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And if you did, please be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do check out Elevating Traders Discord channel, guys. Completely free to join. The link to that is at the top of the chat. You can't miss it. Discount opportunities will be available there they are available there for Elevating Traders Challenge accounts. So if you are looking to purchase a challenge, make sure you head over to the Discord, grab your discount code, and you can use it from there. And of course, you can join the discussion, share trading opportunities. I post setups there as well. So if you're interested, make sure you check it out. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great Wednesday. I'll be live again tomorrow, same time as usual. And till the next one, have a good one.